Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Military Mind, bringing you news from the front lines. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Russia fired 539 drones and 11 missiles at Ukraine in the overnight attack on July 3rd, mainly targeting Kyiv. 6 districts were affected, a hospital and a railroad were damaged, and 14 of those wounded were hospitalized. On the night of July 3rd, 2025, Russia carried out one of the largest air attacks in the territory of Ukraine since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. The main target was the capital city of Kyiv. According to official data from the Ukrainian Air Force, Russian troops fired a total of 539 kamikaze drones and 11 missiles. The attack lasted more than 8 hours in a row, with air raid sirens sounding almost all night. At least 23 people were injured in the shelling, 14 of whom were hospitalized, as reported by Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko on his Telegram channel. Now moving on to the front, the Ukrainian army has managed to stabilize the front line in the Sumy region and east of Pokrovsk. But in southern Donbass, the defense line has cracked once again. Ukrainian troops will likely soon have to leave Toretsk and retreat to the northern shore of the Klippenbeek Reservoir towards Konstantinivka. Meanwhile, the Russian army has captured the area near Volcha River, and after taking Velko-Novosilka in late January, Russian forces launched an offensive northward from the former Ukrainian stronghold along both banks of the river. Meanwhile, another Russian group advanced along the Volcha River from the east towards the river's confluence. In nearly 6 months, both groups had advanced only about 15 kilometers each. But as they near their objective, where the rivers converge, Ukrainian defenses face a serious crisis. Russian troops are now moving towards a key Ukrainian defense point, the village of Novopavlivka in the Dnipro region. If the village falls, Russian forces will be well positioned to advance northward, bypassing Pokrovsk and westward deeper into the Dnipro region. In one frontline sector, Ukrainian operators of the strike UAVs from the separate detachment Wings of Omega carried out a precision operation against holed-up Russian personnel. Intelligence services identified a group of Russian troops likely preparing for rotation or conducting surveillance. Their belief that a layer of concrete and earth would protect them proved wrong when the attack drone silently closed in and delivered a pinpoint strike. The shelter became a trap, adding those inside to losses statistic for what was once considered the second army in the world. Ukrainian aviation continues to strike Russian positions with confidence and consistency along the entire front line, dispatching all assets from light attack planes to heavy frontline aircraft. Quietly but with surgical precision, Ukrainian drone operators from the Ivan Franko group are throwing enemy logistics into chaos. They're targeting the so-called roads of death in the Donetsk sector, where for the occupiers, any movement could be their last. FPV drones, tireless and ever-present in the sky, now pose a constant threat. Truck convoys, armored personnel carriers, even old Euro vehicles all face the same fate. They're being targeted from above and struck mercilessly with lightning speed. On the night of July 1st, the defense forces of southern Ukraine conducted a brilliant precision operation, demonstrating once again the professionalism and technological superiority of their troops. Using Maritime drones and a Lazarus strike aircraft, Ukrainian soldiers hit several targets in a single strike, destroying 3 units of the Nebo-M multifunctional radar system, a key to the Russian air defense detection and targeting system, which make their loss extremely painful. And with that footage, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.